Hey everyone, I just wanted to talk about bushings today, specifically transmission bushings. I haven't been able to find much information online about removal or installation of bushings in general. Most of the information I found was, to put it mildly, kind of using crude methods that I don't feel good about using. Most people I saw were either hammering out bushings or hammering them back in, or using die grinders and die grinder bits to split the bushings to take them out. And I don't feel good about that on such precisely machined components. So I'm rebuilding this 4F27E transmission that's found in the earlier Ford Focuses. And Mazda also used them under another name. I don't remember what the designation was specifically. But I just want to talk about removal and installation of bushings. But before I do that, there are different types of bushings that are used in transmissions. The most common kind that OEMs use are these steel backed, I guess maybe even stainless steel backed, possibly aluminum inside diameter bushings. So the aluminum inside is meant to be like the wear metal that rides against the steel shaft. These are like the low end bushings that you can get for most transmissions that also come built in with the transmission. But these are like bronze bushings. These are like the gold standard when people are building transmissions for performance, or even just like they have what they call like bulletproof builds. This is what they use. Now, when it comes to taking them out, there are different methods you can use. You can use like a flathead screwdriver or a punch like this to punch them out, depending on how the bushing is situated inside. But I don't really like those methods. And there are a few different methods I recommend depending on how the bushing is installed. Now, when it comes to parts like this is like the reverse drum from this transmission. You see that big bushing in there? Let me set this down here. This one here, it's really hard to take that out unless you punch it out or use a flathead screwdriver to hammer it out, because it's sitting against a ledge over there and there's really no way to get something in there to pull it out. So you have to go from this side and punch it out. Now you have to be very careful when doing that, because you can gouge the machine surface in there. So just be extra careful when doing that. Now, for most other bushings, you don't have to do that. I would classify like the parts that bushings are usually installed in, like into two groups. The ones that are like open-ended, like this pump here, you can see it's open on both sides, and this bushing just gets installed in there. Now for this, you can safely use a jig like this. Basically, you get one of these like discs for pressing it out. You get one that fits, that doesn't have basically an interference fit against that hole, that kind of has some play in there, and you basically attach it to, let me get that out. You basically attach it to this piece here, there, and then you can put that there and hammer it out using a hammer, and it will be safe to do that. Now, you can't do that for all of them, as I said. This is the bushing that I took out from here using that method. This is the main pump bushing. This is the bushing that the torque converter, if I'm not mistaken, rides on. It takes a lot of the torque converter, and it also seals the TCC apply pressure. Now, you can do that for these open-ended parts, but you have other like close-ended parts like this end cover. You can see it's sealed on this side. What I recommend for these types of parts is you can get like a set of these, they're called like split collet pullers, or they're also called blind hole, I believe, blind hole pullers. Now the way this works is you have this part here, and it's split across many points, and then it's a two-piece design. When you get this wedge and when it goes in there, well, first of all, you have to choose the piece that fits your bushing diameter. I don't remember what I used this one for, but I have a set that comes with many different sizes. So when you tighten this in there, it will split this collet open, and it will hold your, so if I wanted to pull this bushing out, this is a new bushing I installed, I would slip this in there, and then when I tighten this, it will split this open, and it will grab the bushing from the other end. And now at that point, you can either use a slide hammer attached to this side, but I don't like that. I prefer to use like this piece that came with it. It's kind of like a bridge, I guess. And you attach this piece to that, and basically when you turn, it will pull out the bushing. You can figure that out on your own. I'm not going to explain how that works here. So that's a way to pull out blind hole bushings. Now, when it comes to installation, it also depends on the design of the part. So for blind hole designs, you can either hammer it in, but I don't like that method again. I prefer to use, for blind hole designs or parts, I prefer to use something like a C-clamp. So you can get like one of these deep C-clamps and put it under there, under that piece, and then you can, I hope you get this, but you can turn this and it will press in the bushing for you. I recommend that you first start off the bushing by hitting it a little bit so it goes in slightly. That will make it easier to press in. Otherwise it won't go in straight and it might get jammed in there. Now that's for the blind hole parts. For the open parts, it's much easier. I just get something like a threaded rod like this, put like a nut on it, and in my case I just use a bearing. So this nut goes on the inside race of the bearing, contacts with the inside race of the bearing, and then I have a nut that contacts the outside race. And you get basically a press disc that fits your bushing. Put that on there through the threaded rod. And you do this the same way that you press in and out wheel bearings. So I recommend that you do something like this. Again, as I said, I don't like hammering things in because it doesn't give me a good feeling. I feel like I'm damaging these highly precise machined parts. You may not see any damage, but I still don't feel good about it. I prefer to use milder methods that I'm sure won't damage the parts. So those are my recommendations as far as that. Anything else here? Let me just mention this before I finish. When on this transmission, this stator, this part is called the pump stator. If you look in there, you can see there are two bushings. Now this is a design choice by the manufacturer of the transmission. Now the problem with that is these are known to fail quite often because they're two-piece bushings. I bought this bushing set from a company called Omega Machining. I think they're from California, and they made an updated design. They converted that two-piece bushing into a one-piece bushing, and these are much better because they spread out the load of the transmission of that specific part into a larger surface area, and so this can handle much higher loads, and it will be more resistant to wearing early. So if you can find something like this for whatever transmission you're building, I recommend that. Now they might be slightly harder to press in, but it's still doable, and as long as you follow these methods that I recommended here, you should be fine. So that's all I wanted to say. I hope this is helpful for everyone. I haven't been, as I said, able to find many videos about bushings that I find very helpful. So I hope you find this helpful. Thanks.